This week on the Beard Laws Podcast.
He must be, and I feel a little uneasy, honestly. He must be in this area because not only did my butthole get a little tighter, I'm sweating. I can feel it.
Yeah, Jesus got his red wings.
You know, I can think of far worse men, in my mom's bed. Sir, step aside and spread your butt cheeks. We're going to need to see some shit.
Teach KSI to grow a beard. Teach him to grow a beard laws, and all this shit. And I'm like, who the fuck is KSI? You just sacrificed me, my butthole, to get probed, and you're fucking gone? I feel like they do a lot better being probed, and the aliens would probably want to probe the females and see what they have going on and having like mixed alien babies more than us.
Listen, ladies, we will shorten that wage gap if you just take one for the team and just get probed. Think about Steve-O too. And the fact that he's probably the most normal one to come out of the bunch is fucking shocking to me.
The realm of beard loss, a trio strong and true. Yuban, Brandon, and beard loss with tales both old and new. Their whiskers like a forest, their knowledge like a stream, guiding us through beardom and culinary dream. Beard loss, the sage of facial grace, with whiskers flowing, setting the pace. Yuban, the jester in clouds of green, laughs and wisdom and sight unseen. Brandon J. McDermott, Food Daddy Supreme, a feast of facts, a culinary dream.
Back at it, episode 210 straight weeks of us putting out some content on a week. I'm pretty excited. 210 is a pretty good number. I was trying to do the math right before we pressed record on like 4 years, but that'd be what, 12? Ooh, 212, right?
I think so, right? 52.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was at 8. Did we miss it? Oh, we're really good at math. 52 times 4, 208. We already missed it. We've been doing this for over 4 years. Happy 4 years and 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we did it. And obviously it's evolved a little, well, quite a bit. It used to be just me and Logan talking about whatever the hell we wanted to. Now it's me and you talking about whatever the hell we wanted to, because it is ironic, because at the time of the recording, I'm pretty sure Logan is in your state. He's in a state of misery.
He must be, and I feel a little uneasy, honestly. He must be in this area because not only did my butthole get a little tighter, I'm sweating. I can feel it.
Well, it's funny because there was some garage sale. I was telling you guys a little bit about there with the hats and everything that I got, but did I tell you about the Jesus? Did I tell you about that? No? Okay. So we roll into this garage sale, and it's somebody that I know in the community, and I was just sitting there, and I picked it up, and she looks at me, and she goes, "Jesus Christ!" And I was like, "Oh." She was like, "You need a little Jesus in your life. You want to buy it?" And it's marked like $0.25, I think. And I pick it up, thinking it's just, it's this face of apparently what Jesus is supposed to look like. I don't know. I'm not a guy that goes into a church, nor do I care that you go into a church. And it has like a little bit of blood and stuff on its face. And I'm like, oh shit, Jesus got his red wings. And so I'm sitting there looking at it, and I go to pick it up. This fucking thing felt like it weighed 20 pounds. I'm like, God damn. So I'm assuming like plaster or something like that. So I flip it over. It was handmade by somebody in 1979. I'm guessing somebody local. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how would they hang this up? Because back in the day, they either had paneling or wood, that lath and plaster shit. That's going to tear down a whole wall. So I was sitting there, and I was like, oh, man. I was like, there is no chance in hell. So then we have the youngest with us, and she goes, Jesus Christ, are you going to buy Jesus? Now it's just this running joke where she just walks by, and she'd be like, Jesus. I'm like, don't say that in school. So I look at her, I go, it would be funny. And she lives right up the road from Logan. I go, wouldn't it be funny if I snuck that somehow into Logan's house? She goes, Jesus is yours. Please do that. So I'm like, all right. So we buy some stuff from them. We go to the next one. I throw Jesus in the vehicle. So we go up. Of course, more garage sales. Just happens to be that Logan's wife and them are having a garage sale. So I'm like, oh, cool. I got a hoodie on. It's too goddamn big to fit in the hoodie pocket. So I have to like awkwardly kind of put it under my shirt and look like my hands are under there. It looks stupid. I'm like, hey, any chance I can use your bathroom? Sorry, coffee's running through me. And they're like, yeah, don't have to ask, just go. So I go to the bathroom, right? And it's kind of like they're like looking in at me weird or whatever. So I'm like, what the hell? So I close the bathroom. I'm like, all right, I'm going to hide it in the bathroom. It's too big to get into any of their friggin' medicine cabinets or anything. So I'm like, okay. So I go out real quick. I sneak into the kitchen, hide it in this bookshelf. I'm like, this is a pretty good spot. And then I come out and I'm sitting there. I didn't know that the kids were in there. His boys were in there, just kind of like hanging out, not feeling well. So we get back out there, hang out with the garage sale for a little bit, help him pick it up, have a quick Jenny Light, and away we go. Next day, he messages me. What did he say? He says, any chance? I'm going to pull it up real quick just so I can do it some justice here. Logan. Right here. Shit. You by any chance leave a porcelain Jesus at my house? So instead of sending a message, I call him up and I'm like, yeah, here's the thing. But I was like, no retaliation, because him and another guy got into a pretty bad kind of like not punked, but prank war. And I
Right.
was like, I want nothing to do it. So he goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm bringing this to Missouri. He goes, and then I think his mom's going too, because he's staying with an uncle. And I believe his plan was he was going to have it sneak in to like his mom's room where she was going to stay and hide it under either the pillow or the sheets. And then when she gets there, Jesus is in bed with her, which I thought was weird. But I mean, if Logan wants Jesus in his mom's bed, hey, could be worse.
You know, I can think of far worse men, you know, in my mom's bed. Now, did he fly out here or did he drive?
He flew. Yep. I believe it was just him and the wife. They were, from what I understand, I think it was like a leave on a Friday, come back on like a Sunday or maybe Monday, because apparently there's Columbus Day. Thank you, Columbus, for sailing the blue in 1492 and accidentally finding it and then, you know, doing a whole bunch of nasty shit. But we get a holiday for it.
I appreciate not going to work. It was fucked up what you did, but also in a roundabout way. Thank you.
You get the day off?
I mean, I take it off.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the hotel biz, I would have to imagine it'd be a lucrative day, not a shutdown day.
Such a busy travel day, which I think what is an indigenous people day is what it is now here, and it's super hard to say. So I just say it's that holiday.
Especially spell.
Oh yeah, if I was not a spelling bee champ ever, a geography bee champ, by the way, would like to go on. Yeah, in the 4th grade, I got to meet Alex Trebek. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Alex.
Yeah, I was a nerd with geography apparently, and I remember I had to go against my brother in a championship to see who got to progress into like the regionals or whatever, and he messed up, and I just immediately just remember looking at him, just go, just like laughing at him. Everyone's like, "This guy's kind of a dick," and I'm like, "This guy's fucking stupid. He got that question wrong. He said south. It was northeast. Fuck him."
Clearly, you got all the brains out of the twins.
Absolutely, and
which is weird for me to say that to you.
I know, he really was awfully dumb. Like he was, there wasn't much up there because you got to think.
Did he get smarter as he got older?
No,
or is he still kind of
no?
Mm.
Well, and with Logan too, I was going to mention too, with the Jesus statue, since he did fly. Can you imagine a TSA agent that was going through his bag, and they're like, "Why the fuck is his bag so heavy?" Because especially if you're only going for a couple of days, probably a duffel bag.
And he said he's doing carry-on only, just a book bag. I'm pretty sure Logan packs pretty light. I would be surprised if there was anything other than like a 6-pack of beer probably in his book bag. I doubt it. Maybe an extra pair of socks, maybe an extra pair of underwear. But he's a little guy, so it's probably like still wearing kid-size clothing.
Okay.
So, it can't be. You can fit a lot of stuff into a book bag. But yeah, and I told him, I was like, dude, are you really gonna bring that thing? He's like, oh yeah. What's the worst that happens? I take it. I'm like, fair. Could you imagine being the TSA agent? We're going to have to confiscate Jesus. And they'd be like, you're going to confiscate Jesus on Columbus Day weekend?
How dare you?
Unbelievable.
Just carrying that big ass 25-pound fucking plaster thing, and everyone's like, what's in there? Jesus. Sir, step aside and spread your butt cheeks. We're going to need to see some shit.
And then he's got one of Donnie's Jesus toys up there.
Oh my God. Oh. That's the only acceptable one that I would keep in my house as well.
That's probably acceptable one, but speaking of Missouri, you got something else to talk about?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, there was let's do this first. Shout out to the Deluxe Edition Network. It's been scrolling, but if you're only listening, then you don't see all the cool scrolly things. If you ever want to see us live, check out the patreon.com/beardlaws. But check out the Deluxe Edition Network. We got a couple of podcasts of the month. This month, it's the Graveyard Club and Terror Tuesday. At the time that you're listening to this, we record this in October. October's Halloween. We got some scary stuff. These are good ones. Definitely check out the Graveyard Club, Terror Tuesday, and all the other amazing. I think they're up to 26 different podcasts now. And there's going to be another one on here fairly soon, apparently, another comedy one, which would be cool.
Great guys, by the way. It was really nice actually getting to meet them on the other show. So that was a great time.
Shout out Ray and Casey, who took some time on a TikTok Tuesday and hung out with us. And I still love that Ray spaghetti story. That was classic, absolute classic. So yeah, make sure you guys check them out. And I think that's all we got. And obviously, there's another one, like a mental health one that we do Beyond the Box. If you guys want to check that out as well. And I mean, I have 17 different podcasts, so if you guys want to check those out, it's 2023. It's almost 2024. You guys know where to find all the links and socials and all that good stuff. But so when we were speaking about Missouri and other podcasts and stuff, Josh Terry podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Funny guy. Toby was on it. Toby made a recommendation to have a couple of us on there. So Josh reached out. I got to be on there. He's a top 1% podcast in the world. He was a radio DJ, right? He had a radio show and stuff like that, a pretty big one. And he's a very open book. Says what he wants. Very, you know what I mean? His opinion. He's gonna get out there. I guess something went down on the radio. He ended up losing his job. Started this podcast. That's what he does for a living. Very good at what he does. And he recently had a guest on from Missouri. There was a teacher who was put on leave after they discovered, and it's crazy that all of these headlines, whether it's AP News or all these websites, are calling her page on a porn site. Technically, OnlyFans isn't a porn site, correct?
Correct. From my understanding, because you can do a vast variety of things on there. It doesn't have to be pornography.
Yeah. And it's for anybody that hasn't heard. Let me see here. I'm going to pull up one. This is just from the apnews.com, and it says Missouri high school teachers put on leave after high school officials discover her page on porn site. I started to listen to the podcast. It's a very good episode from what I had with Josh Terry and her. So if you guys get a chance, go check out the interview that he did with her. He saw the news, and within minutes, him and his team reached out to her because like he kind of wanted to hear the story and stuff like that. So definitely go check out. And the name is Brianna. I'm not going to say her last name. You guys can check it out. She was an English teacher at St. Clair High School. How close is that to you?
So I immediately Googled how far that is, and it was about 4 hours. Unfortunately, that's the southern part of the area. So
and shit goes down in the south in Missouri, right?
It does. It does. And I want to say one of them, because there was two small or similar scandals, because I looked up Missouri OnlyFans, and apparently there was one before this as well.
Ooh.
And St. Clair, is that the one that was next to St. Louis, or was that the one that was? I want to say that was the St. Louis one, which is still 4 hours away. Yeah, it's it's about a good 4 hours away. And I was like, still worth it. But apparently she had to pay her student loan debt. I'm like, God damn, we gotta get the student loan problem out of, we gotta fix it.
Do you think that's a default excuse for it? Because, and the reason I'm saying that, like, if you say, oh, I'm only doing it to put, pay for this, or I'm only doing it to pay for that. It's like, I have to imagine that's like the right thing to say. I would have to imagine too at the end of the day, and this is me being a guy that's not on OnlyFans, doesn't subscribe to anybody's, which I don't care that people do. But I have to imagine you kind of would have to like what you're doing. You got to be kind of into it. Like we do this podcast and stuff like that. And it's funny, a local buddy of mine was like, dude, I really would love, because they have a very, very good news website locally that he helps run. He's like, I want to link your podcast so bad. But he's like, it's probably best that we don't. And I was like, I agree. Like, don't worry about that. Like,
right.
What we do and say on the show is probably not for our area. But I mean, I have to imagine this girl enjoys not only the money but doing whatever activities. I don't even know what it is, but
yeah, I mean, personally, I mean, whenever I do similar activities, I thoroughly enjoy it myself. But would I ever videotape it? No. I don't want to see that. I mean, she was cute too, but some of the pictures I kept seeing, it looked like she had a little bit of a lazy eye. You know what I mean? So I feel like that should lower the value a little bit. So if it's anything more than $7 a month, probably not interested.
yeah, we should probably look. And I just hate how they kind of have turned it, because, like, here's the first thing. A Missouri high school teacher says that she has been placed on leave after officials discovered that she was performing on a pornographic website to supplement her salary. Like we said, it's not that. And then they took the kind of the twist on it. But apparently this person was an English teacher and did acknowledge that she knew the risks. She was quoted saying, apparently to AP News, which let's give this girl some props, because I mean, this is major news coverage. And I have to imagine this stuff happens all the time. But if you kind of take a negative situation and flip it, your side hustle is now your full-time hustle. Now, everybody that is into that stuff and not even into that stuff is like, I'm intrigued. I'm curious. What does she charge a month? Not that I'm going to purchase it, but I'm like, hey, and from what I'm told, some people, you know what I mean? They don't do full pornography style stuff on there. You know what I mean? Like our buddy Toby. I mean, him and his wife have an OnlyFans. They don't do the nudity stuff. They don't do gross stuff. They do it like what is it? A
Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Yeah.
Or, no, I said it right the first time, and then you fucked with me. Hold on. I'm not going to say it again, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes. So just kind of pictures, still wearing clothes, but I'm not an expert in this. I've never been there, but she kind of said, she was quoted saying, this person, Brianna, it was kind of always like this cloud hanging over my head. Like I knew they had to put in the right? Like I never knew when I would be discovered. She said in the interview, then about 2 weeks ago, my husband and I were told that people were finding out about it. So I knew this day was coming.
So was she. I don't know. I mean, if it got caught, so say if you were originally charging like $10 hypothetically, and then the world suddenly knew that you had one, I'm bumping that shit up to 20. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
I wonder if you could do it geographically. You know what I mean? So people say it and be like, all right, anybody within this amount of miles has to pay this, but anybody without it can pay this, because I'm going to, you know what I mean? Hypothetically, if I'm this person, I don't want the high school kids that I'm teaching checking it out.
Right.
I don't want their parents checking it out. The creepy dad that has to come into the meeting checking it out. So instead, say I hypothetically charge $7, I think you used, that's going to 30. And then it's like, all right, if you want to pay $30 a month to check me out, cool. So I guess, or whatever. But yeah,
it's got to be wherever else she's posting, because I know TikTok does the same thing. It does that local algorithm where it tries to push you out local. Like, stop doing that. I was like, I don't want the people around here to see my fucking videos. Stop.
There's got to be a way.
Because, OnlyFans doesn't promote individual pages or anything. So she's got to be on other sites. And I just know that usually on some of the feeds or some of the videos that I get on TikTok, I look at the video and I'm like, you possibly are in a certain industry. Let me see your link. And then, or your Instagram. I go to their Instagram and boom, yes, I have one spicy account. And if they have a Twitter, that is just primo content right there. And I'm always like, hey, why are you charging so much for your OnlyFans when you're pretty much showing everything for free on Twitter?
I don't get that either. I
never understood that. And they're like, well, you get a little bit of a taste of what this is. The taste is good enough. I don't need any more. Thank you very much. See you on my For You page in a couple of days, and we'll continue this routine.
Yeah. So 55 miles southwest of St. Louis. High school has about 750 students. She said that she joined OnlyFans over the summer to supplement her salary as a second-year teacher. She taught English to freshmen and sophomore. Tough age to do that. She made about $42,000 as a first-year teacher. Not terrible, And according to what she said on there, she earned about $8,000 to $10,000 a month during the summer on OnlyFans. So that's roughly 100,000. I mean, if it's 10,000 a month, that's $120,000 a year. Triple her salary.
She must be good at what she does. I mean, I wonder if she has a Twitter. I'm gonna have to double check this username.
And she said she was quoted saying, "I'm very aware that I'm probably never going to teach again, but that was kind of the risk I knew I was taking. I'm sad about that. I do miss my students." But according to AP News, as soon as this started to get there, she has gained over 100 new subscribers since this has happened. And she has more than doubled her subscription price and plans to continue. So she says, "I do not regret joining OnlyFans. I know it can be a taboo or some people may believe that it's shameful, but I don't think sex work has to be shameful. I do just wish things just happened in a different way." So, I mean, let me throw this out here too. I mean, she's only in her second year. You know what I mean? So there's plenty of time to pursue a career. And let's be honest, teaching isn't a glorious thing. My wife works in a school and teaches, and it is so much bullshit and stress with the parents and the students, and sometimes the way schools do things. I'm not saying that she ever complains about it by any means. She loves her job. She loves where she works, but you can see the stress, and I have friends that are teachers, and it's just like everybody gets after them. Oh, you to get the summers off. Blah. It's like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was a goddamn teacher, I would need those couple of months to reset. So there isn't, you know what I mean? All that,
right.
Back in the day when nuns were able to smash kids with rulers and shit. Like, I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
And I know half the teachers in this area as well in Missouri are usually, not paid the greatest. And they I know, I think my kid's third grade teacher, they were, or she's constantly staying after to clean this the school, so she's part-time custodian as well.
Mhm.
She also works at our local Dollar General or Dollar Tree, I forget which one it was, but does that. Half the teachers I see have another part-time job, especially during the summer. They're picking up side gigs as well.
Yep.
Everybody, just like they have the book, everybody shits. Practically 90% of the country fucks. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if they're not showing it to the kids or anything else, I'm pretty sure the religious, like we have a principal here, very, very religious, very respectable guy in the community, has 9 kids. He fucks. Okay. If
Yeah.
he had an OnlyFans, you would see him doing the same, probably even nastier shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know what the taboo thing is of people being like, "Hey, how dare you touch yourself?"
I mean, yeah, like I said, and you look back in the day and like all these old paintings and shit, you know what I mean? It was all about sex, and they always say
Mm.
sex sells. And so I just happened to stumble upon this other one, foxnews.com. It does say the Missouri teacher did resign after the discovery. Of course, they say OnlyFans account turned full focus on porn. And she said, I'm that teacher. She's 28. She's going to rebound. And you know what I mean? Maybe she goes on and does this for the next 20 or 30 years and makes more money than me and you ever will. Good for her. You know what I mean? But what's
Absolutely.
weird to me is there's an ad or there's a video that's playing on top of this. And it's a video that says Hugh Hefner's son shares why he decided to do OnlyFans. Marston Hefner explains why he chose to pursue an OnlyFans page in an interview with Fox News Digital. I'm like, that's a good little ad segue. I mean, well done, ad choices. I mean,
Absolutely.
almost got me to click it, but to be honest, I don't give a shit why Hugh Hefner's son. I didn't know he had a son, to be honest. I assumed
Me
he had a bunch
neither.
of kids, but I know the daughter was the one that kind of took over Playboy, correct?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't even heard much about Playboy. The only time I see a Playboy bunny is whenever I'm leaving the school. There's this kid that has this window decal with a Playboy bunny, and it's called the Heifer Limo. So every time we're always sitting right behind the carpool, or not carpool line, but like the exit line or whatever, and I'm stuck behind the Heifer Limo every time. And when my kids were younger, they're like, "What does that even mean?" I'm like, "He likes bigger girls."
Mhm.
Just like, just
Shout out to that kid though for doing, like I said, I don't know, obviously we're older, but we grew up, magazines were a thing, Playboy was prevalent, Hugh Hefner alive. Shout out to those kids doing some deep dives into the vintage stuff. But yeah, Christy Ann Hefner is the American businesswoman. She's the chairman and CEO of the Playboy Enterprise.
damn.
So yeah, so there we go.
So, talking about a little bit of vintage. I don't know if you realize. Did you hear that the Pokemon? Did you ever play Pokemon growing up or collect the cards or
Mm-mm.
anything like that? Damn.
No, the only thing I did was Pokemon Go for a little bit, which I think I've talked about on the show when I bought Pokemon Go Death and a bunch of Pokemon Go sites and sold them and made some money. But I had
There
to
you
see what it's
go.
all about. It just wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Wii in those games where you have to get up and do shit and play a video game. Just like that brand new fucking Oculus I bought that I've used about 5 times because
Yeah,
we were gonna be in a bowling league and shit, which I still would like to do that. I'd still would like to find one day a week where we all get together because you have one now,
I do have
right?
one. Yeah.
You know what? Even if the boys don't want to do the bowling thing, which I fucking really do enjoy that bowling. Like I might play it today. I would buy the dart game and me and you can play some darts on it sometime. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, and the casino one is really fun. The Top Golf one is by far my favorite, but even myself, I probably haven't played it in 2 months. But, um, so Pokemon throughout the years has developed more and more characters or whatever, and,
Mhm.
to the point where I don't know half of them anymore. If my kids are getting a Happy Meal, sometimes they have the Pokemon cards in there.
Yes.
They're like, "Dad, what's this one?" And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I only know the original 151 and then maybe a few. But 25 years ago, they released the original 151, and they just now came out with another like box set that only includes those ones. So you don't have to worry about any of the different ones and stuff. And they're collector items and stuff. So I bought 2 boxes of those bad boys, and it was like Christmas Day when when they came in on Friday.
Mhm.
I'm over there just hovering, waiting for the kids to get out of school. And then my daughter she's softball's over, but she had a little party congratulating themselves on the season and
Hey,
everything. But
congrats to them.
yeah,
Shout out to
thank
them.
thank God softball's over.
Hell yeah.
But I was texting her. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I gotta stay after school, maybe for like an hour. I'm like, come on. Like, I'm so ready to open this. And then my son was like, hey, don't forget an hour. We got to get ready to go to soccer practice. I'm like, you sons of, we're opening some of this shit. I was like, I am not waiting anymore. And, but it came with 15 of these booster packs, which it comes with 10 cards in each pack. And we're going through and looking through each of these. And it was a fucking blast. I almost went and ordered 2 more boxes. They're extremely expensive, by the way.
Oh, I bet you they fucking marked them up crazy because they're in, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I got this one. There's like one character that's like the hard one to get. This one only comes in like an exclusive box as well. So I bought one to open, and then I bought another one to keep in the plastic just to be able to resell in a couple of years when people want to spend 3 times the amount to get this box again. Because my buddy collects cards, and he told me the same thing. He's like, hey, don't open that. And I'm like, I'm gonna open it eventually. This thing is not gonna last 3 weeks in my closet. I was like, I'm surprised. Every time I walk past it, I'm like, you're coming home with me. Like, I'm gonna open this shit. And I'm like, I just want to see. But there's one character on there too. His name is Blastoise. He's like a water type Pokemon. We pulled that one within like the first 2 packs, and we're like, oh shit! We're like, this is gonna be a badass box. Like, boom! It kind of all went downhill after that. And I'm like, God damn, why couldn't we save that one for the last? But it was a good time. I was nerding out like crazy. I love the nostalgia.
Shit, this would have been the episode to have Zach on because he is a Pokemon nerd. And I mean that like in the nicest way. Like, I'm a nerd. I do dorky stuff. He is the same one. I think at one point they were having like a baby shower barbecue type thing. They're on their 3rd kid, and shout out to them. Congratulations on baby number 3. Finally had that little boy. And and I think at the shower they said something about you can bring diapers or whatever, or just bring Pokemon cards. But he kind of is incorporating his oldest into it. She's old enough to kind of get what things are going on, but not really. But I thought it was kind of messed up. Like, I'm not a Pokemon person. Like, I used to collect some cards, like sport cards and stuff like that. I just don't find the value in that. And with my personality, I go all in. So I just don't want to do that. But like my daughter, no clue about Pokemon because it's not my thing. But even she got like, for Christmas last year, I want to get some Pokemon cards. I'm like, okay. I got a nephew super into the Pokemon. Okay. And then the youngest, like you said, when they go to McDonald's, they're like, Pokemon. She'll, oh, this is a rare one. Oh, this is super rare. And I'm like, what makes it that? Well, I mean, I'm like, you got it from McDonald's. Like, let's do some research. You have a tablet, Google it, and then you look and it's like, that card's worth a penny. And then I'm like, you're a dick right now. Like, why are you, you know what I mean? Like, bringing it down a little bit. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. And so I'm trying to feed into the excitement. I just don't get it.
We have a saying here. We call it "Don't ruin the magic." So because I'm very big on that too. I'm like, I used to look at it. I'm like, what? That's not rare, dude. I'm like, no, because I would get super excited. I'm like, fuck, is this rare? Don't touch it. Like, this is probably worth a lot of fucking money. Let's go lock this in a box somewhere. And then same thing. I'll look it up and I'm like, this is worth 19 cents. The fuck. But then so now I'm like, this is one of the rarest ones you can get. Like, I guess I don't understand the big hype on Prime. I don't know if you ever drink Prime, the soft drinks or whatever, or
the sport drink or something. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I've seen them around, and if it's trendy with kids, it's a rule of thumb. Like, I'm staying the fuck away from it.
Yeah. So there's a song that even like my boys are always like, we got Prime, boys, we got Prime every single time they fucking see it. And I'm just like, and then I hear other kids doing it whenever I'm shopping. And I'm like, the fuck is this? But there's different flavors, and apparently some of them are harder to get as well. But
isn't that one of the Paul brothers and a rapper that own Prime?
It's
that KSI dude.
KSI,
I get tagged in all sorts of shit. Teach KSI to grow a beard. Teach him to grow a beard laws, and all this shit. And I'm like, who the fuck is KSI?
I think he started off as a streamer, but then he also fought against one of the Paul brothers as well. And then they do Prime together and everything else. But it was so like they had a glow in the dark one, and of course there's only one. So we got it at this. We're like, oh shit, this one. I don't think he's had this one yet. And they call it Glowberry, and the bottle glows in the dark and stuff. And he's like,
kind of cool.
This is the rarest one that you can find. And I'm like, I have fucking no idea about any of this. I probably don't believe that it's rare to find or whatever. But I'm like, fuck yeah, it is. And there was only one left because we knew you wanted it, right? It's the rarest of the rare. And he's just like, I gotta go FaceTime my cousin and show him. He's probably gonna get jealous. And I'm like, go do it, buddy. Have a good night.
Jesus.
Enjoy it. And then he'll
So
come up.
Prime is apparently worth between 3.1 billion to 8.4 billion. Yeah, it's Logan Paul and KSI. They obviously built their following over social media and stuff like that. And this headline right here from cbinsights.com says the first billionaire YouTuber is going after Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So I'm assuming they're trying to, steal, the sales and stuff from their, whether it be Body Armor, Gatorade, Powerade, stuff like that. So
Well, then I
good
know
for
that
them. Fuck it.
Prime is also an energy drink as well. So they have the energy drink side and the sports drink side. So they're going against like Rockstar, all those other different type ones that I think Coke owns. But that is crazy. I mean, it seems to be
Isn't
doing
it?
well. I've tried them a couple of times and tastes like shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not a Gatorade sugary. I don't do the only caffeine is coffee for me, and hey, good for them. I love how people are able to use their following in a positive way. Like these guys built it. They started all with us, 0 subscribers, got into whatever YouTube, did the right thing. Now look at them go. Whether they're boxing, selling Prime, and there's some cool people that are doing the same thing. I mean, Jeremy Littell, you know what I mean? He's been on the show. You know what I mean? He has a company that I think when he was on the show, I think it was something his father or grandfather started. Then he kind of got into the game, struggled for a while, got on social media. And then I know there was a big contest between Iron Sanctuary and Beer Bong John at the time. Now he's just being John, where to see who could sell more of it. And honestly, I think it really helped save and rejuvenate kind of the brand for him. And it's good stuff. Kick-ass jerky. I mean, go check. I love it. You know what I mean? I have a box of it down here, right here. Love it. And it's just kind of cool like that. And then you get guys like me. I just come out with Swell C t-shirts and 2 tight end shirts. I have Travis Kelce, and that's somebody finally called me out there like, seriously, is this what your account is? You're just doing stupid videos to try to sell t-shirts? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna try to sell a couple. I mean, they're funny, they're fun. Is it only gonna be me trying to sell shit? No, but hey, I sold like 4 of them. I'm rich.
Retiring. Who needs OnlyFans money when you can have t-shirt money?
Right. And I'm not smart enough to charge way too much for a t-shirt. Like I'm going to charge you 17, 18, maybe $20. So I'm going to make like $1, where some people are selling t-shirts for 20, $30, marking them up 60%. And they're going to make, $5 to $10 a shirt, which, hey, shirt's a shirt. And it kind of sucks for me because like I'm a huge t-shirt guy. And, I would love buying a band shirt. I would love buying, like even Steve-O from Jackass, he comes out with some funny shirts. I'd love to buy it, but at the same point, it kind of burned me out with social media when every single person bought, created, and sells merch. I mean, I rarely get on my personal Facebook. And the other day there was like 5 or 6 somewhat local people to me that are selling merchandise now. And to me, I look at it, I'm like, cool. Like I hope all of you sell millions and millions of them. But it's like, man, that's so shitty. It used to be like great artwork, great shirts worth the 10, 15, $20. And now it's just like, fuck. And I'm not saying the stuff I put out is good. It sucks. Like I'm never going out there. I mean, look at this. I got this brand new logo that I haven't even shown anybody or released. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cool. And I'm not even pushing it.
From a distance, it totally looked like the Wichita State Shocker. And I was like, let's go, baby.
I even put it on a shirt so it's easier to see, and I haven't even worn it. Ooh, little ASMR t-shirt. You guys are welcome for that shit for free. But yeah, I put this out here. Like I said, I'm not even trying to hustle it.
Looks sick.
Thought it looked cool. Every once in a while, I'm just like, I feel inspired. Let's go to Fiverr. And I'm like, I just wanted a different design. Mostly I wanted a new koozie. Bought it, got a shirt, a hat, koozie. I got it through the TikTok shop for free. So I bought my own. I'm that guy. I tested it on the Passball account for free. I wanted to see how it worked, educational purpose. So either way, yeah, I'm just so burned out, man. I'd love to continue to buy. Like I would wear, and I guess maybe because I'm a little bit older, like I can't really wear t-shirts to work anymore. So you know what I mean? Like I get it home, I wear them on the shirt. But we are going to be. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but we have a cool opportunity coming up with a merchandise brand. So within the next episode or 2. On this one, on the Thursday show, myself, Brandon J. McDermott, Yuban Whakinov, we're going to be rocking a certain style merch that I saw on Instagram. The algorithm sent it my way, and I was like, we need these. Because it just happened to be one of those ones. There's a lot of ones that I'm just like, ugh. I saw this, and I was like, this screams Beard Laws Thursday show. This is going to be awesome. So you're randomly going to get a package from a company So if you get I don't know what it is. They just said they're going to send us some stuff. So whatever, it could be a hat, could be a shirt, could be whatever. So when you get it, just let me know and know that it's from this company. And I got some funny ideas, but I think your idea is going to be funny. So it's going to be good.
So excited because I was wondering because when you asked me the shirt size and everything, I'm like, what are we wearing here? And I like surprises, so this is going to be exciting.
It's going to be good. Yep. So you guys, you and Brandon, and obviously Brandon J isn't here. I probably should have said this about 35 minutes ago, but his sister got married. So he had the honor of walking his sister down the aisle. Not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but either way, he was at the wedding in wherever it was. So obviously he can't make it here. So hopefully everything went well. Congratulations to Brandon's sister. Pretty sure the dude he married, his name is Matt. And everybody knows that Matts are awesome. So made that shit up, but there's a slight chance that the guy's name's Matt. I saw a picture of it. Brandon posted on his personal Facebook a picture of him and his sister. And it's just a really cool thing because read the book, Abandoned Brandon, and you can find out more about his sister and his upbringing and stuff like that. So I know Zach finally got a copy of it. I'm curious what he thought about it. I'm sorry, Brandon, still haven't read it. Waiting for the audio version. Love you.
When are you going to change your name to Matt with 3 T's? You know, you promote Triple T. The fact that you haven't changed your name like that, just wasteful opportunity right there.
Do you know that Triple T it was a thing and like it's not a really good thing? So like when I had to kind of stop being like I think it's a game or something, but I think it's like Trouble. Let me Google this right now. Yeah, it's a video game that is known as Triple T. It's Trouble in Terrorist Town. Is known as TTT. It's a multiplayer game with Gary's Mod, set in a parody of the Counter-Strike universe.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's on Linux, it's on Microsoft Windows and Mac operating system. Published by Face Punch Studios. Developer was Bad King Your Grain. I looked it up on the Google. But yeah, so when I started Triple T and started tagging, I was like, what the fuck is Gary's Mod? Every time I would do a video, it would be that. So yes, so Triple T was a thing. So I don't know if maybe we don't get a lot of extra pull-in from the hashtag Triple T, but I did start getting a little more creative, and thankfully we are we're still around. I haven't seen the video game at all, and I thought it would kind of be funny eventually to play Triple T on Triple T, but turns out we're not video gamers. But
yeah, we can even play the Oculus. Yeah.
We should set this up. What we should start doing is on Sundays after we record, we just we should just play a little round of darts. And I felt motivated the other day because I bought a new hot tub because turns out when you go to a store that has a word in it that rhymes with fart, and you buy a hot tub for around $200, you shouldn't expect it to last very long. But I was hopeful because my little brother had one and he's had that thing for like 2 years. Still works perfect. So I go and buy one. It's the Best Way Salud Spa Madrid. If you're watching this right now, if you go to walmart.com, type in like portable hot tubs, scroll down a little ways, they make you earn it, but it's on there for $168. Same exact one. Mine leaked so bad all over the goddamn porch. I had to replace the floor. So I was like, son of a bitch. So I went out, bought a Coleman. I love Coleman Camping. Little well-known brand, or a little bit better brand, I thought. So I bought that, got a new one. It was like $400. Okay. So I still have the parts for the other one. So then the in-laws just bought it and they love it. So I hope theirs doesn't leak. And I mean, they're not cheap, but there's just seals and stuff like that. I put some JB Weld to try to help. It worked for a little bit. But if anybody wants one, fuck, you know what I mean? And then I got thinking, you know what? Like, I was pissed at first, but I'm like, dude, I had a $200 hot tub. I had it for about a year. $200 for a hot tub in a year, even though the electrical bill just about doubled. It is nice. I was in it last night for the first time in a while, and I was just sitting there because the temps drop, and I'm like, this feels friggin' fantastic. Like it's nice.
It's the temperatures are starting to drop around here as well, to where we had our first frost yesterday, and I think the high yesterday was 62. And I'm like,
yeah,
spooky season's around the corner. But I got these 3, well, 2 of them are fat as fuck cats. I mean, just beefy boys.
I've seen your one. It's pretty big.
Oh, I overfeed these motherfuckers like crazy. And they're still, every time, just as soon as I get something to eat, I'm like, you've already fucking ate, bro. Like, goddamn. Yep. So we had the windows open whenever it's starting to get a little colder. And we're like, oh, let's air out this house a little bit. This fat fucking cat just jumps through the screen. I mean, just jumped and pushed the whole screen out the window. And I'm like, really? And so he'll get halfway through the yard, and every time I'm like, his name is Steve. And I'm like, Steve. And he'll just look at me and he can see his eyes glowing. And then he just looks and bolts the other direction. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Really? So he'll be gone for a while, until an hour, until he's at his fucking hungry again and comes back to the door. Just feed me, feed me. But I was like, I went outside looking for him, and I was like, okay, perfect opportunity to hit the pin a little bit. Let's look for this fucking cat. I'm looking outside. I look up and I see 12 fucking dots in a distance lined up in a fucking line. And I go, what the fuck is that? So I hit the pin again, of course, because I need some clarity. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is in this? And it's just approaching in a straight line. And I'm like, holy fuck, I'm about to get probed. Like these
up in the air, right? Okay. I was my brain went like eyes in the field, like maybe there's 6 deer looking at you or something. Okay, up in the sky.
Yeah, so up in the sky. So I'm looking straight up, and we have a pretty big view that we can see the stars. I live out in the middle of nowhere, no street lights to block this shit. So, and it's just visibly like it's heading straight for me up in the sky. And I'm like, and they're again in a straight line. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so I immediately run and tell my son, because he likes looking up, and we always like to see like the space station when we can see and shit. And so I'm running, and again, I'm a big boy. I don't like to run very often. I get there, I'm winning. I'm like, hey,
you and Steve out of breath going for food.
Yeah. I was like, there's a whole bunch of lights, and he's just like, what? And I'm just like, just come with me, run. And so we go outside. He's like, Dad, what the heck is that? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, is this safe? I'm like, probably not. And he's like, why'd you get me? And I was like, figure you want to see it before we all die. And so then we both run and go get the girls. We're like, hey, whole bunch of dots, come look at this. And then my wife's like, isn't that like Starlink? That's the Elon Musk thing. I'm like, that makes more sense. Yeah, that's probably what that is. Yeah, we're not gonna die. But it was just the way that it was heading was straight over our house.
Isn't it so cool to see?
It is, honestly. I was amazed by how fast it was going and just how cool that shit was. I'm especially, in the elevated sense. I'm just like, wow, we're so
probably
small.
2 years ago or so, when he first started doing this, me, the wife, her brother, sister-in-law, there was a bunch of us, and we were by the bonfire. We had been drinking, just kind of unwinding, and I just kind of happened to look up, and where we are, it's not uncommon to see weird lights in the sky that you don't know. So I see the one, and I was like, holy shit, that one's moving fast. And then I was like, hey. She looks up, they all looked up. Then there's another one, like you said, then another one. And it's like they came out of nowhere, and they were and we're like, what the fuck? And we had no idea. And you started looking up, and there wasn't all these sightings of Starlink yet. They weren't really overly advertising. Like, what the? So finally, after a week or two, we find out and saw videos of it, and it was like, yeah, Starlink, this and that. We're like, oh shit. And it was just kind of wild because Richie was seeing it in his area, which is more East Coast, for the first time ever. And now you're seeing it. But Midwest, I guess, more or less, you'd be. And when you see it for that first time, it is wild. And the first thing that came to my brain was Independence Day. I'm like, here we go.
Like that. I mean, and honestly, because it looked like it was moving so fast that it was like skipping whenever I first saw it. So I'm like, why are there little dashes in the fucking sky? And and it was just weird that it happened to be in the 5 minutes I was outside just to go look for a fucking cat and just look up and be like, oh shit, that's pretty cool,
Steve's like, I've been probed before, motherfucker.
And there was he just
on Steve. Speaking of Steve and UFOs, on Steve-O's Wild Ride, the last guest they had, I forget who it is, but he's a UFO expert, and like is actually been doing this for years. Before it was released, having federal people come at him. Like they had a really cool interview about some stuff. So if you guys if you're into podcasts and obviously the Steve-O stuff on YouTube and stuff, check it out. It was a really, really cool episode if you're into that, and I know your son is. They ask him some really cool stuff, and his podcast is very, oddly enough, like pretty family friendly. Like they bleep out the swear words. They don't talk about too much bad stuff, but they had a special guest and stuff. It's a cool episode. But you ever see, and I wish I knew what they were called, but they're like those lights that come down. They look like light beams that come down. So we had them at our house, and I had never seen them at our house before. And I'm shitting you not, like it looked like there was one that was coming right down into my yard. So I'm sitting there, and me and the wife are like, what the hell? So we're sitting there, we're walking out, kind of a little creeped out, potentially a little buzzed up, right? So I'm sitting there. Doesn't a friggin' Amish horse happen to go by and do like that horse, like whatever, know the noise, like
Right.
tails or whatever. I'm not going to do it and have Jace potentially clip it.
Do the roar.
It happens as soon as we walk by. Her initial scared panic thing was to push me. She fucking pushed me right underneath where the lights were, thinking that we were like getting abducted. And I was like, what? And then she ran and I'm like, motherfucker, like you just sacrificed me, my butthole to get probed and you're fucking gone. Like if anything, and this is maybe comes over a little sexist, but women have been probed by their doctors, especially females that have had kids, way more than me and you. Like when we get 40, 50, we get a little thumb or a finger up there for our prostate. But these women have had all sorts of instruments and stuff inside of them when they're having babies and maybe just for fun. Who knows? But I feel like they do a lot better being probed, and the aliens would probably want to probe the females and see what they have going on and having like mixed alien babies more than us.
Listen, ladies, we will shorten that wage gap if you just take one for the team and just get probed. Okay.
Yeah,
Because if you think about it, how many times have you heard or seen a woman say that they've been probed?
I mean,
I
that was a question they actually asked too, like about the probings and stuff like that. And more or less the guy was like, listen, we don't have any concrete evidence or whatever the better word is for that there are, but they're like, there's a lot of people that have been having this and stuff like that. And he's like, it's probably really happened. Like, I mean, throughout the thing, like, and there's just like, oh shit. See, and of course, you know, they were talking about all this stuff and Steve-O and the boys were like, we got to talk about probing. I'm like, that's what everybody thinks. That'd be a fun Halloween costume.
Just be like Eric Cartman with the old probe. Like that was one of the first episodes I remember. And think about Steve-O too. And the fact that he's probably the most normal one to come out of the bunch is fucking shocking to me.
Yeah.
That is just wild. Just seeing him get his life together, like kudos to him. And genuinely, he's genuinely enjoyable as well. Like I like Steve-O.
Yeah, and he's doing comedy and touring and stuff like that. And his comedy tours are fucked up. I don't know if you've seen any of them. There was a special that I saw online, bought or watched. And I mean, the stuff he does on there, from like maybe the goldfish thing to eating shit to just fucking, which is, hey, it's Steve-O, I guess. I mean, if it sells, it sells.
It's just like a modern day Gallagher, but just of beating the fuck out of each other.
Did you hear, speaking of shit, I don't know why this triggered my brain, but in Minneapolis, Minnesota, federal custom agents actually found, apparently there was an Iowa woman who wanted to make jewelry from giraffe shit from Kenya and was bringing it back to the U.S. in her luggage.
What?
Yes, giraffe shit from Kenya, because she wanted to make a necklace of it in Iowa, and they got her in Minnesota. Yeah.
I mean, so I can't recall what, maybe it was moose droppings.
Yes, she's done that because she had done that in the past with moose. Yeah, with moose shit.
Oh my god, she sells the shit. I mean, like, pun intended, but she's somebody that collects that and makes jewelry from it. That's their store or whatever, and that's been going around for. I remember seeing that like back when I was on Facebook like a decade ago or whatever. But
the Winking Moose, there's one. That's I like that name, the Winking Moose. Handmade Alaskan moose poop nugget. Yeah, there is a lot of moose poop earrings.
Yeah,
imagine having a moose poop tongue ring. Probably shouldn't do that one, huh?
A Jacob's ladder.
Moose poop nipple rings. Oh. There is a lot of. I guess it's embossed or it's covered with stuff, so it's not the actual shit, but
is it embalmed?
They have a cat poop necklace, realistic cat poop necklace. Huh. I got to admit, I'm not a jewelry guy, but if the right potential sponsor ever wanted to, I think I could rock. Like, I don't even have bracelets. You know what I mean? I'd rock the right bracelet, right necklace. I mean, come on. If somebody wants to hit us up, I got a Google Pixel watch. But I rock some bracelets and maybe a cool necklace. I'm not gonna rock. Fuck, for the right price, I'd rock a moose poop necklace for the show.
There you go. You know, what would the sunglasses be like? And they make sunglasses.
Moose poop.
Just the frames, you know what I mean? That would be sick. Just hairy ass fucking moose shit. Like that's what I want. I don't wear jewelry either, and did you ever get your ears pierced whenever you were a kid? Did you ever? Oh yeah, I totally got convinced to do that. Yeah, I had the for a while there it was the studs, And I got some, big earlobes as well. So I had some gigantic bad boys in there. They were wearing these fuckers down. And then whenever I was in my slight emo phase, I had
Oh,
I don't know what the fuck they're called. They're not studs, but they're like a little hoop, but they connect to the earlobe itself. They're not like hoop, like Funyuns hanging from my ear. But
ooh.
so my daughter has her ears pierced, and she's like, "Dad, can we put some earrings for me?" I was like, "Fuck that, get away from me!" Nope. I was like, "Get away! I will swing on a 12-year-old. I swear to God, nope."
I had a lot of people that were my friends and, into punk and stuff like that. They did the plugs and different
gauge.
piercings and gauges, yeah, all that stuff. So, I mean, it just wasn't for me. I have no tattoos. I have no ear pierced. I don't know. I guess it's instead of spending all that time and trying to reach out to that, instead I just drank a lot of alcohol. That was that was my thing, and probably should have went with the ear piercings over the intense alcoholism stages of my life. But
Piercings are expensive as well. So are tattoos. I only got one tattoo that was right when I turned 18, and I didn't get one again since. So same thing. Did I go to get my ears pierced professionally? No. It was my buddies. We ice cube and
yep.
then got a needle, and then they went with an apple. They cut up an apple, put it
Ooh.
right behind, and then again, I've mentioned this several times. I am a quivering pussy when it comes to needles. I just do not like it. If I have to draw blood, if I go to the dentist and they're getting ready to inject me, I will have a slight tear going down because I'm petrified of fucking needles. So the fact that I let them do that whenever I was a kid, I have no idea. I must have been heavily influenced as well, or under the influence. Had to
I
have been.
mean, that has to be something you're probably not going to do sober, right?
Yeah, and I was like 16. So granted, I know I was drinking when I was a kid, but still, just stupid. If someone came up to me like, "Hey man, you want to pierce your ear?" I'm like, I will knee you in the throat. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that shit. And you could still see them. And so a lot of people, even when they're like, did you have your ears pierced? And I'm like, mm-hmm. And my dick. You want to see that one too?
The janitor saw that and he was just like, ooh, yep. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch episode probably 208 or so, the 2-year or 4-year anniversary show that we had no idea was the 4-year anniversary show.
Speaking of him as well, whenever I was talking about the Starlink thing, he also smokes, and
Oh, I thought you were talking about you. I thought you were referring to your dick as he. So, okay.
No. So, but I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, man, did you see the Starlink in the sky and everything?" And he's just like, "No, I didn't see it." And I was like, "Yeah, look at these pictures." And he goes, "Hey, well, brother." He's like, "Hey, how many pictures of this thing do you have? And do you need to check to make sure?" And I was like, "Motherfucker, and there's no more dick pics around here." And he goes, "Are you sure?" I was like, "I'm not trying to show you a picture of my dick." And he's like, "Uh-huh." And so he just kind of like hesitantly looked, and I'm like, look at these fucking blurry ass fucking blue dots in the sky. And he goes, "Oh shit, that is pretty cool. Cool. All right. Anything
Do you have
else?" I'm
any
like,
other thing that are blue that hang down? And
he's such a piece of shit too. And now everyone else too, whenever they see me with him, they keep mentioning they'll have like little joke and stuff like that. Then they're like, "Oh well, John's already seen his dick," and I'm like, "We're still on this? Like, when do we get past this?" And I'm waiting for all these people. We have a high turnover rate. I'm waiting for them
oh,
all
I
to
bet.
quit before it's just me and him.
Nope. What was that? Was that a chicken?
There
Was
was a
that a goat?
rooster. There was a
Oh, wow.
rooster.
Is
Yeah.
it in the room? That was the loudest I've ever heard of it.
So I was wondering because usually I ask, and I'm like, I'm not going to ask this time unless it's pretty definite. It sounded like he was right on the window right here,
Wow.
just getting it. And he'll do it again too. Because again,
Oh, I'm
usually if
sure.
I'm on a work phone call trying to be secret, we
Yeah,
just
I'm definitely here. I'm at work. I'm definitely not at work.
probably didn't hear that one. That one it was a little faint. He's going away. Okay. Yep.
Good. Okay. He knew better. He's like,
Hmm.
eat more chicken.
That's gonna be a McChicken soon.
Ooh, baby. Which Brandon, I know you're probably not going to listen to this or whatever, and we were probably going to bring this up, but your boy Yuban had a hell of a buy on the McDonald's app the other day. And Richie, yeah, we used the app. It's okay. You don't have to act like you're 50, 60, 90, 60, 90. 60.
And
Yeah.
can I mention too, like if you're not gonna use the app, you're like, hey, they should offer that to me, as if Richie said, but you're still gonna go there. Aren't you still giving them the money anyways? I don't. It doesn't make any. So why not give them less? If anything, using the app isn't inconvenient. You're sticking it to them. I'm robbing them of these
Mhm.
deals that I'm. You know what I mean? I'm not paying full price.
I'm team
Uh,
app.
all day. And if you're gonna give me free food for doing so, but I showed the screenshots of the dollar. Or no, actually, I was wrong. It wasn't a dollar fry. It was a free fry.
Free.
It was a free any size fry as long as you spend $2. So I got free large fry. I got a buy one get one for $1 hot and spicy McChicken. So I got two of them bad boys and a $1.39 large drink. I spent less than
Ooh,
$5
you did.
on
It was
all of
for
that.
something. I saw it.
Yeah. And
Hell of a
October's
buy.
like, so when we're all bitching about, oh, we can't get a meal for $15 at McDonald's, you can if you get the loyalty app.
Boom. Love it. You know how much shit I get
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
free every week? Maybe I shouldn't admit this, but every week I go to Taco Bell. Unless we have games or something, Taco Tuesday. We spend under $30, and not to, not to beat a dead horse because you got to be fucking twisted to do that. But I mean, you're gonna get at least $5 or $6 in rewards on top of the savings. Like, why wouldn't you if you're gonna buy the shit anyways? I mean, come on,
Get the
come on.
app. And there's a lot of apps too that just offer free shit on certain days anyway. So if you play your cards right, you can just get free shit. It's like going to Costco or Sam's Club and just getting the samples. Just get the
BJ's,
apps.
BJ's. I just
What's
think it's fun to say BJ's. I want a BJ membership at the hospital that I used to work. That dump. They used to come in and there'd be a thing because the BJ's representative, which is awesome. Imagine that being your title. Hey, I'm here. I'm here on behalf of BJ's. There's no way I could work with there, but they'd bring them in, and the way that it was always worded in there was definitely coming off as supposed to be work appropriate, but there's no chance in hell that 90% of these people are reading this, not giggling inside. And oh man, that was the one of
so
the beautiful parts.
I guess I don't know. We don't have
Oh,
BJ's around here. So is that like
BJ's is
similar
it's like
Costco?
a where you can go probably like I see I don't have a Costco around here, but
Is it?
you have to pay to I believe be a membership, and then you
Yeah.
get like bulk deals and stuff, so you can go and get a ton of cereal or paper plates or whatever.
Oh,
Because
that's right. You guys don't have Walmart.
we have
So
we have those.
oh, you do? Oh, okay, never mind. I
Yeah, yeah,
forgot.
yeah. But
So
the Walmarts are at least around here. I mean, they're just normal. They're not even super Walmarts. There's a super Walmart like 40 minutes drive in one way, but it's not like you can. I have to imagine is a Costco kind of like that where you can get like bulk shit, like big bags of
it
cereals and big things of Pop Tarts and shit. Or
it is exactly like that. I've never been in a Costco either or a Trader Joe's. I always hear great things about Trader
Mhm.
Joe's. Never been there either, but I'm assuming those are all big bulk buy stores that I've only been to Sam's Club.
I have to imagine that's what it is. But to be honest, I don't. I've never been in BJ's as well, so I just know that I ran into my cousin Brian, and he was catering a wedding, and he said that he had to go and get all the stuff at BJ's. So which is conveniently close to the reservation that has a casino. So I think that's why he's going there. He's two birds, one stone. He's going to go get the supplies, going to go do a little gambling. Hopefully he won, but I didn't get the Snapchat from him. So sounds like he probably donated. But yeah, it says, yeah, you become a member and then you get discounts on stuff. So probably
Y-
just cheaper shit. Yeah.
I mainly go. So our company they use it to stock some of their stuff for the hotels, and so they always ask me like, hey, we're gonna go shopping, man. You want to go? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going with you guys, because of the food there. Like same thing. If you're wanting a very cheap lunch, I can get a slice of pizza, which is like the two slices pretty much. It's a big ass slice of pizza, uh, like a soft pretzel and a Slurpee for like $3, dude.
You can't beat
Fucking
that.
insane. Oh, dude, if you look, I think Costco's the same way. They're like, well, you can get like the hot dog meal for like $3 or something. I'm probably wrong with the pricing, but it's very, very cheap. And it ain't bad. It's not bad at all. So I'm there the entire time. They're like, all right, we need to get this. And I'm like, are you guys about done yet? I'm worse than a child. I'm like, let's go. And they're like, dude, we told you. They got one of those flat shopping carts like at fucking Home Depot. Like they're getting ready to
Oh,
have like lumber and shit. And they're like, no, we got to get all this pop. We got to get all this. I'm like, just meet me over the fucking concession area. And they're like, no, wait for us. I'm like, no, hurry up. I'm like, I'm ready. And 99% of the time, that blue Slurpee is going to run through me before even 3 o'clock. It's
yeah.
going to be a neon. I said neon a lot in 2 episodes ago. I'm gonna bring it back.
Bring it back, baby.
Neon green, just fluorescent, fucking glow in the dark. Hashtag glowberry brown. Hashtag rare, super rare. Just the brightest shit in the world. It might stain that toilet bowl. Disgusting.
Hell yeah. And if you were in an airport that I was in Charlotte, you get done taking that glow in the dark shit, there's gonna be somebody right there to clean it. And I mean, that's service. That is service with a smile.
Just referencing so many,
So many
episodes.
throwbacks.
That's awesome. And you know what? I was going to mention too, whenever you were talking about your hot tub, there's trigger words that everyone always has. Like, oh, that's a trigger word. Mine is every time someone says hot tub, I immediately think of that girl shitting herself in a hot tub. I don't know what it is. There is nothing that can, so it doesn't matter every time, I swear. So that's why if you're looking like, why does he fucking like just grin every time I say hot tub? I'm like, so you're like, had a hole in the hot tub. And I go, oh,
Mm.
that sucks. That's really bad. I'm thinking of that girl shit herself every time.
Yeah. I mean, and I didn't know too. I was thinking there had to be some kind of funny story in the industry that you are in. I'm sure that there are some hot tubs, obviously, throughout facilities, potential room ones, this and that. So I didn't know if there was something. There has to be some weird shit that goes on. I mean, you get a hotel room that has a hot tub, people are fucking in that. I mean, they're not buying that to just simply hang out. And if one person's going in there, they're probably jacking off in there. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just me thinking like I'm not a guy that stays in a ton of hotels, but holy shit, I couldn't imagine being a house cleaner. If there is any intelligent people, maybe where you work with, or how, I feel like a good podcast with stories from housekeepers could be very good. It's relatable. They're hilarious. They're twisted. Like just walking in and seeing shit that like probably actual shit, maybe some giraffe shit. There has to be some stories.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's and just looking at the security footage whenever the front desk does something as well, because they usually have to deal with the drunks in the lobby, after hours and stuff. So I'm fortunate to where none of our rooms have like a honeymoon suite or like a jacuzzi suite or anything like that. We don't even have a hot tub. It's just an indoor
Smart.
pool. Like we're small. So very fortunate that we don't have to clean those. But you do see people who are skinny dipping, who are trying to fuck in the pool, fuck in the fitness center. It's rough. But a lot of people get locked out of the room naked, a lot, and they have to make that step down to the front desk.
How does that happen?
You would just, so they would say, they thought they heard something, so they step outside, and then the door shuts behind them, and I'm like,
Not
if you
buying
think
it.
you heard something, why would your instinct not to be put on clothes?
I mean, you're in a hotel, you're gonna hear stuff, and they look through the peephole.
So, and then it's really awkward whenever we try to, they're like, hey, there's another person in the room. We're like, well, we need to see your ID and make sure who we are. And he's like, I'm naked. I don't have anything to verify who I am. And like, so we're trying to call the room, like, and then there's been times where they're like, hey, it's like a female, they're like, no, I don't want him back in this room. We're like, dude, she don't want you back in this room. Like, we don't know what to do. Can we offer
Let me
you a
call the
towel?
cops real quick. You want to sleep on the couch and go
Dude,
sit in the fitness area.
and you see just drugs and just people who die in rooms. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's a part of it as well. So it's, yeah, you'd be right. I think the housekeepers would probably have the best stories
Shit,
on that.
why we should have not done the Steve Winwood Fantasy Football League, and we should have did like hotel stories and just done a whole podcast of that, and just bring on some housekeepers and just get a hold of big hotels, small hotels, motels, hotels. Get in Ludacris to come in for an episode, and
Luda.
that'd be our theme song. Man, we're onto something. Not that I need another podcast, but
Right. And I guess before, because I know that we're running over the time here, but
yeah.
So there was one story that I can mention that comes off the top of my head that I usually find fucking hilarious. It's scary, but now that everyone's safe, it's hilarious. But there was a lady who was a housekeeper that worked with us that it is customary, like not customary, I guess is the word. It's you don't push the trash down with your hand. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, like
so say if you see the trash in there, you don't crush it down.
no, yeah.
So she had done that, and she was pricked by something, and then she found it, and it was a needle, and we're like, oh god, we see the syringe, we're like, oh dear god, like
Yeah.
no. So we took her to the hospital. She had to be put on some preventative HIV AIDS medicine, all that stuff. Again, so that's not the funny part, but We're calling the guest to see what the fuck the syringe is, you know. And we're like, hey man, we're not mad that you have it. We're just trying to figure out what the fuck it is, you know. Kept calling, never can get a hold of this guest until finally he calls and he's like, hey, yeah, it's not drugs. And we're like, okay, thank God. He goes, it's an erectile dysfunction needle that goes directly, it's applicant right into the dick. And we're like, you got pricked by a prick needle? We're like, oh my God. And so we're like,
Yikes.
do you have any disease? He's like, no. He's like, but please quit calling about this. And we're like, oh, you were cheating on your wife.
Yep.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yep. Shame on you, you know, but yeah, so we learned a hard lesson there with her. We're like, hey, you know,
Pun
obviously
intended.
do not touch the yes. But yeah, and I did not know that there was such an applicant, I guess, for getting your thing erect. So we learned a lot of things that day.
Interesting. I think I'd probably look into chewing or swallowing a tablet for that. But hey, thankfully it's a problem I don't have. And speaking of needles and dicks, we don't have an update on the pen pal like we talked about last week. We didn't have any viewers send any messages about it, so maybe it's something we forget about. But if it's something we can't forget about, then me, Yuban, Brandon, we're going to find ourselves a pen pal and keep you updated. And apparently we're going to start a new podcast. But either way, we'll let you guys go, and that's all we got. Can't thank you enough, Yuban, for hanging out. And Brandon, hopefully you're not too hungover at the time of this recording. We're going to go hang out, watch some football, and I'm going to throw some money around because that's what I do. I'm a degenerate. So that's all we got. Can't thank you guys enough. We'll see you next time for episode 211. Go check out Triple T in the Patreon, patreon.com/beardlaws. Subscribe so you can see his feet pics. Okay, gotta go.
Woo.
Bye.